All right. Neil Ratner Rock Doc here with a story. Okay, so this past week, musician, singer, songwriter, producer, and club owner Daryl Hall celebrated his 75th birthday. And today, I thought I'd tell you a few things about Daryl Hall that you might not know. And as usual, a little background first. So Daryl's parents, each of them had a musical background. His father performed, he was a singer, performed in a choral group, and his mother was a vocal coach. Now, Daryl wanted to sing as well from a very early age, and he credits his mother with teaching him to sing the correct way, which is from your diaphragm. And when you sing from your diaphragm, you protect your voice from the damage often suffered by many artists who don't sing from their diaphragm but sing from their throat. So that was good for Daryl. He learned the right way very early on. All right, now he started recording while still a student in high school. And by the time he entered Temple University outside of Philadelphia, he was already working with the famed producers Leon Huff and Kenny Gamble, who created the Philadelphia sound. And of course, in 1967, Daryl met his future partner, John Oates, who was also an undergraduate at Temple University. Now, the two started spending a lot of time together on a regular basis. And eventually, they shared an apartment around Philly. But it would take them another couple of years to form a musical duo. And 3 years after that, they were able to sign a deal with Atlantic Records and release their debut album. All right, now, unfortunately, their time at Atlantic was not that good for them. And after a couple of well-made albums at Atlanta, and they had great producers. I mean, they had big-name producers like Arif Mardin and Todd Rundgren. But these albums failed to produce hit singles, and the duo, when the deal was done, decided to leave for RCA. Unusual story to me because I know Atlantic Records as this great label which took a lot of artists from other labels, particularly artists that were geared towards R&B and soul. And Amit and Neshwi knew what they were doing, and with my friend the Big M Mario, they were able to really make something happen. Never happened with Hall and Oates. All right, at any rate, they went on to RCA, and their first album for the new label was a very legitimate success, and it produced the hit single, Sarah Smile, which was written about Daryl's girlfriend at the time, flight attendant Sarah Allen. Well, Sarah Allen turned out to be a great songwriter, and even after Daryl and Sarah stopped their romantic involvement, they continued to write songs together, and Sarah contributed to many of Hall & Oates' hit singles, including You Make My Dreams, Private Eyes, I Can't Go For That, and Man-Eater, a great songwriter in her own right. Now, the group, of course, went on to have 6 number one hits, and they've sold an estimated 40 million records and were inducted in both the Rock and Roll and Songwriters Hall of Fame. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think they're the most successful duo in rock and roll history. And of course, in addition to his work with John Oates, Daryl Hall has made music as a solo artist, as well as in the 70s, he recorded with Robert Fripp. We all know who Robert Fripp is. And he worked on Fripp's critically praised album, Exposure, from 1979. And Fripp actually produced and performed on Hall's debut album, which was the much acclaimed Sacred Songs, which was recorded in the late 70s, but it was released in 1980. All right. Now, if you live anywhere up here in the Hudson Valley, you know what Daryl Hall has been doing in recent years, right? Daryl's House. Okay. It all started as a combination podcast webcast from his actual home called Live from Daryl's House. Now, according to Hall, the idea was to invite musicians over to play and show people what it was like when musicians relaxed and played amongst friends. And if you've seen Daryl's House, you see, the interaction between Daryl and various other people. I mean, there's some great stuff. Um, the show was a great success right from the beginning. But Daryl knew he couldn't invite everyone over and thought also, you know what? It would be nice if we had some food. So what he did was he bought an old restaurant in Pauling, New York, about an hour from here, remodeled it in a similar fashion to his actual home, and the club, Daryls House, was born. And I can tell you, having been there myself, it's well worth the trip. The food, the ambiance, and of course, the great music. And I think I posted on Daryl's birthday this past week that the show will be now recording new episodes, has been picked up by, I don't remember who, you could look back on the post, whatever, but the show will continue. And I'm also happy to report that Daryl's House is now open with a full schedule of music. And as I said, music, food, go to the website, you'll see what the schedule is. And you know what? Make it a weekend. On your way out of Manhattan, you drive up and you do Daryl's House on one night, then you come up here to Woodstock and you either do Levon's Ramble, or the Bearsville Theater is now back and running with a full slate of concerts. Some good stuff coming up. I see Rick Wakeman on November 1st. I see John Sebastian's coming up. And who knows, this is Woodstock. All right. That's my story for today. Don't forget to catch me on Radio Woodstock 100.1 iHeartRadio, Saturdays and Sundays at 3 o'clock this week in rock. I've got a reading up from my book from Friday. You might enjoy that. And of course, you know where to find me around the internet. And as I always like to tell you, always remember to keep on rocking. All right, we'll see you somewhere soon. Have a great day. Bye now.